Second video covering the Way of the Roses, a coast-to-coast route that we rode back in September 2016. This release covers day 2, where we rode 50 miles from Airton to Knaresborough in North Yorkshire. We started our journey early in Airton, after having a fantastic breakfast at the Linden Guest House where we were staying. We rode over picturesque Yorkshire moorland. Today's route passes through Pateley Bridge, which if you've seen our Nid Valley mountain biking video, you'll be aware of, and then we go on to Ripon via Studley Park. At the end of the day we headed to Knaresborough to our accommodation, but the official route doesn't actually go that far south. A little bit more on that later. As you can tell already, we're in for another hilly day as we tackle today's ride. It really makes me wonder if I should have had such a large breakfast. The Way of the Roses is a special 170-mile route which opened in 2010. It gets its name because it passes through both the Red Rose County of Lancashire and the White Rose County of Yorkshire. It was actually designed to commemorate 15 years of the National Cycle Network, and according to Wikipedia, it is the newest long-distance coast-to-coast route available in the UK.
Jelly babies or anything? Here we go.
After a quick sugar top up, we were on our way once again. I'm absolutely positive that the Skipton Cycling Club members found it much easier to come down this hill than we did going up it. Just like on day 1, the terrain that you ride over, the quality of the roads and tracks and the scenery all vary wildly from one mile to the next. And I believe that this is one of the great things about the Way of the Roses coast-to-coast route. Although we had ridden in the area before, we had not tackled the Way of the Roses previously, so the route was new to us, but some of the terrain was known. Here I am approaching the outskirts of Burnsall, which is a village on the banks of the River Wharfe which I had previously selected as a great location that we could stop at, take a break and have a bite to eat. After I crossed the bridge, Sarah let me know that I'd gone a bit too far and that the tea rooms were behind me, so I made a U-turn and retraced my steps back to the green area. As you can see yourself, the centre of the village is really picturesque and really wouldn't be out of place on a box of chocolates or some Yorkshire biscuits or maybe even some Yorkshire tea. We all settled down outside the Wharfe View tea rooms and we could see that they were busy, so we waited for about 10 minutes before one of us went inside to try and make an order. We were informed that someone would come out and see us. 30 minutes later this still hadn't happened, so we went inside again to try and make our order, just to be told someone would come and see us. We waited again, and eventually when no one came, we left the tea rooms 45 minutes after arriving with no tea or food. If you are ever in the area, I'd probably give them a miss and use one of the other cafes or pubs nearby instead. I think it is worth mentioning again, but the signage throughout the route is generally very good. Large signs, blue backgrounds, pointing the correct way, situated at most junctions.
That looks lovely climbing up there.
When I saw the sign for Nidderdale on the left wall here, I thought that it wouldn't be too far before we had a big descent taking us down into Pateley Bridge. Although there was a descent, it wasn't the actual one I was expecting. Here's another Nidderdale sign. It can't be too long before the descent, surely. Ah, hang on. There is a larger sign here saying Greenhow Hill and warning me of a massive descent coming up. This must be it. This is a brilliant descent. I can probably top 50 mile an hour on this one without too much trouble. Or so I thought. Hang on, why is this guy going so slow and braking all the time? What followed was 5 minutes of cat and mouse as we descended the 2 miles together in perfect harmony. In all seriousness though, this descent can be extremely dangerous, and there are guides to how to tackle this part of the route correctly on the Way of the Roses guide pages. I may publish the full 5-minute descent video later. Once we were in Pateley Bridge, we stopped at the Wildings Tea Room for tea and cake. This was what actually powered us back up out of the valley. Around 30 minutes later, we were off and running again. As we mentioned in our Nid Valley mountain bike video, Pateley Bridge is a great tourist destination if you're into outdoor activities, from walking and biking up to horse riding. The climb out of Pateley Bridge was a steady one and not as taxing as some of the other climbs along the route. Although we rode through many small villages along the way, the places available to stop and eat are significantly fewer on day 2 than they were on day 1. This may be because the businesses have flourished in the larger tourist places such as Pateley Bridge. It looks as though Trev managed to get a couple of hours sleeping while he was waiting for me. I think Trev had spotted a climb in the distance. From watching all of the Way of the Roses footage back, I'm now starting to believe that Trev spent an awful lot of his time either standing or sitting around waiting for me to catch up with him. This is the secret way into Studley Park. Well, not so secret. Although we didn't see them on this trip, visiting either Fountains Abbey or the Royal Water Gardens would be well worth the detour. On our left is St Mary's Church, and in front of us is a 3-min descent into the grounds. If you want to skip ahead a minute or two, feel free. St Mary's Church is situated right at the top of the deer park, which incidentally is the home to 550 deer of 3 different species. All of them must have a degree in camouflage, as we didn't see any of them while passing through. That was probably the most relaxing descent of the entire route, with wide open views and a noticeable lack of vehicles and people to avoid. By the time we were on the outskirts of Ripon, we were desperate for ice cream. Radioing ahead, I asked Sarah to check out the local shops.
Can, have you found the ice cream shop? Over. Ice cream shop closed. Over.
Disappointed by the lack of ice cream, we climbed up to where Sarah was waiting for us at the town centre. After visiting the local shops for snacks, we were soon off again, heading towards the cathedral. The cathedral was impressive, and I wish that we'd had more time to stop and have a look around. Ripon is definitely a place to come and explore over a long weekend maybe. I'm sure we'll be back here one day. As we were heading away from Ripon, the sun was starting to set, casting some fantastic orange colours over the scenery. The small villages or suburbs of Ripon look to be nice quiet places to live. Probably quite expensive though. We are at the point in the video where I would normally give the scores for the various aspects of the ride. However, for the Way of the Roses I will give one combined score for the full 170-mile route in the last instalment. So for now, if you like some fantastic scenery, great roads, some mildly annoying climbs followed by some spectacular descents, then Way of the Roses Day 2 is probably for you. This is the village of Bishop Monkton. It is where the video for Day 2 ends, although we rode on from here into Knaresborough to enjoy the comfortable accommodation that the Newton House had to offer. If you enjoyed the video, then please like it. If you intend to ride the route with friends, then send them a link so they can watch it too. You can follow us on our other socials to keep up to date with what we are doing. If you have any questions, then you can ask them in the comments section below. And if you would like to see more of the routes that we ride, then please subscribe. If you'd like to see another video straight away, then please check out the ones on screen now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe on those trails.